Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Educational Gamer and we are playing NASA in 1957 in the simulation of the space program, and we are just about to launch. Actually, we could see that from over here. We are just about to launch Explorer 1 on a regular mission over here with a 80% probability to be successful. 1957 in the second quarter. That's actually just one season before historically the Soviets were able to launch Sputnik. Actually, I should say Explorer 1 is much lighter than Sputnik was historically. But we might actually be able to beat the Soviets over here. We should see that in the goals comparison, no one has achieved any significant things, except of course we did do the space plane things over here, which we did achieve in 1957, so that's very good to see, and we might just be able to beat the Soviets in launching the first satellite. So that's very exciting. Let's end the season and let's see how that turns out to work out. Satellite now has a decent probability of 83%. Missile a little bit about 80%, so that's very good. 82% in total. Let's see whether we are successful. Let's launch the mission. We are going to of course monitor that from mission control. It has 6 steps overall, 3 flight attendants, so let's see. Let's launch. Launch preparations.
Stand by for status.
So far.
Go. ECM.
God damn it.
Go. Sequence. Go.
Okay, so here we are. This is our first crucial bit. There is a problem that has occurred, and this is the first time we're seeing this in this playthrough. Problem occurred and the flight controllers are working on it in order to fix it. We could bring in one or more external Tiger teams composed of paid experts in order to increase our chances of success. Our current funding, or our current funds, are 10 million. Chances of success are 60%. We could increase that by 10% by hiring one team, or somewhat with diminishing returns for more teams. I think one team is fine. 60% is really not that great, 70% is a lot better. Would cost us 2 million, which is a lot of money, or 1.8 million, which is a lot of money, but I think it's so important to beat the Soviets to this goal. We might still fail over here, so let's see. Green or red? What was it going to be? Green. That's very good, very good. But it's not encouraging to see that even in the launch preparations, just as we are on the ground, there was a problem.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Second step is success. Third launch. This is where it actually gets interesting. This is where the rocket really has... But we are successful. Let's see about the ascent. Very beautiful. Come on. Yes! Successful. Come on. A couple of more steps. Satellite deployment. Come on. Come on. Come on. Deploy. Come on. God damn it. Okay. So here we are. Another problem. Similar circumstances. Satellite isn't deploying correctly. And we could either have about 60 or about 70%. I'm gonna hire another team. That's really gonna drain our funding by so much. But it's so important to get this one. Come on, please. Yes! Good. Problem solved, so there we go. Explorer 1 has been deployed. It's in Earth orbit. Successfully achieved orbit, and there we go. We did it. We did put the first satellite into orbit before the Soviets were able to do that. Even though we do know that they have the Sputnik program online. So here we go. Lots of achievements unlocked. Specifically something that Sputnik didn't do. It didn't carry any measurements of the Earth's magnetic fields. So that's nevertheless very good for us. So we're also able to increase our stuff on the missiles and on the payload. Specifically, I think the upgrade comes from the problems that or some of the problems that we fixed. Flight controllers did gain some more experience. Astronauts, of course, were not present on this mission. So here we go, and indeed we were able to do that not just in parallel but before the Soviets. That's extremely good, and it does unlock a couple of things for us. So let's look at these in, yeah, why not now? So we are now capable of conducting missions on the moon, not human missions, but we can send space probes to the moon. Potentially. Of course we don't have the capabilities. Whoop, 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 whoop. Sorry. Yeah, that's not possible for now. And we could also think about sending something to the sun probe. What would that actually take? The Pioneer Sun Orbiter. I think we'd probably need a lot of TPI of 64. Don't think we have a rocket capable of doing that. TPI of 64 doesn't sound too bad though. So yeah, maybe that's worthwhile. Lasts for 6 seasons though. That's a long term for our flight controllers to be occupied with that. At any rate, we did it. We did put Explorer into space. We could do an extended mission with Explorer as well. Would give us a little bit more points. Would not unlock anything specifically new. So I'm not convinced that that is a worthwhile target. Would of course improve the reliability of our rockets somewhat more. Likewise of the payload itself, but there's no point in increasing the reliability of the payload if we are not going to do more missions with it. So I actually think we can close Explorer 1 as a mission profile over here. That's fine. We now have no open programs right now. We have 1.5 years left in the season. We are well above our maximum target, so it's very good. So we don't need to actually be concerned with increasing our prestige for the next 6 seasons. But beyond that, of course, we're going to get new targets. They're going to be much more ambitious, but that's fine. But that means right now we've satisfied basically the public. And that means we can focus a little bit more on our long-term goals. I think for the astronauts that's definitively going to mean training for now. So let's look at Mauritia over here. I think you're one of the new ones, over? No, you're one of our stable guys actually, so you're a pretty well-rounded character actually. Let's make sure you're a little bit better at leadership. So yeah, I think that's fine. Single training course is gonna be it. That means we have no available astronauts. Mission control, we do have some available. Chastity, our standard flight director. You need to be a well-rounded character, you need to be somewhat knowledgeable in everything so you can direct everyone, so we're gonna do the best things, gonna improve you on the things that you do best or least best, while the other guys here are all gonna receive some degree of specialization. That should be fine. So everyone is in training of these guys. Now we do have a couple of engineers. Of course there are the rockets left, but let's look at what we want to do next. So we could think about the crew ballistic. We could think about Project Mercury over here. That would be a good thing to keep some of our people busy. Now the trouble is that we would need ultimately over here a rocket capable of reaching a low Earth orbit with a payload of 1.355 tons. In order to do so, we need to open a program, human capable, human rated rocket. This would not be enough. It would put people in orbit but not beyond. So it would really need to be the Atlas. We could do the Redstone first and then go into the Atlas, and that'd be some advantage because as we improve the reliability of this missile would likewise be improved. This is a little bit less expensive to open and maintain, and it would be enough for a suborbital mission. So we could actually, sorry, not space planes, ballistic missiles, could probably put you into suborbital things over here. So it would be enough for the first 2 missions. You can see there are a lot of missions, and we could even start with the last mission, but this thing over here comes into play. So there is a penalty if you're stepping too far ahead of yourself. Sometimes it's worthwhile to do so a little bit, just to start one mission in the middle, and eat the penalty for the reliability, but I don't think in this particular instance that's it, because a minus 15% probability is pretty hefty. So actually you can see that the suborbital flight test does require the uncrewed suborbital flight test, and the uncrewed orbital flight test, no, the orbital flight does require a couple of things. A man in space, really? Okay, so a suborbital flight should be enough for that, yeah. So we definitely need these two first before we can go into anything else. You can see it does require 2 astronauts, but more importantly, it does require 10 flight controllers, and right now we only have 7. We can only have 7, in fact, we only have 6. So we need to train up a couple of more people over here before we can even think about doing this. So it might be a little bit early to open this, specifically since it's pretty costly. Likewise too, these will be all the more difficult. You can see much more flight controllers being required over here, so yeah, that's not gonna happen. So let's think about the other satellites over here. So orbiting frog, I think, is the one that we saw next. It does require 133 kilograms. And in terms of our rockets, I think that's something that we can't do now, but which we could potentially do over here. No, sorry, what was it? God damn it. It was... So... Leo 133, yeah, that's... Leo 550 or Leo 9000. So our current rocket certainly isn't capable of doing that. And our new rockets... Really? Really? None of you is capable of doing that? The best we can do is 120 kilos. You're human rated. Well, you're a little bit better. 2000. But you're very expensive. That's particular, so... Really, there's no way... In the Atlas itself... 1,300. 1,300 on the Atlas. Would be enough for this and the biosatellite. Not enough for the Pegasus one. But even the orbiting frog would require 133 kilograms. Yeah, so the actually one of the things that was historically bottling in the United States was their lack of proper rockets, specifically the light-rated ones. Basically, they were all too light. Yeah, so really the Atlas seems to be the next important target. Atlas booster, human-rated. It's a pretty difficult one to research and extremely costly to keep up. It would ruin us if we were to open that now, so I don't think it's really viable to do that. Could think about these next ones, but of course they tend to be even more expensive. Yeah. So what we could do is open one of the lower ones, even though it doesn't necessarily do much for us. Some of the research, as I said, does trickle down, so that's certainly helpful. Redstone. Could at least do a suborbital one. It wouldn't be too expensive to keep up. Yeah, but again, there's absolutely no point in researching these for in and on their own. Just 6 kilos. 43 kilos. What was the requirement over here? Pioneer? 64. God damn it, this is such a mismatch. So the Americans really struggled early on with some of their missiles. Yeah, 64 would be great if we had that. Atlas Agenda. Yeah, you would be the best one actually to research. But again, so costly. No, we can't do that. So I think it would make some sense to open this. Just the Juno 2, research it and hope that some of the research does trickle down. It's not that expensive to keep up. On the other hand, we might just do that with the Redstone. It's a little bit less expensive to... You know what? We're gonna go for the Redstone. That's fine. The Jupiter C, actually, I don't think we need for anything anymore. So we can actually close down this program. Specifically because it is pretty advanced, so there's no point in developing that further. Ooh, and you can see that we are now asked to develop this with human-rated rocket specialists. So let's pick a couple of these. You are not actually that helpful in doing that, so that does leave us with a lot of engineers who are available. And I think that's a nice chance to increase their capabilities a little bit. So let's look at human-rated rockets and the guys who are best suited to do that. Joe, you're gonna train to do that. Adam, you're gonna get training in that. I think that's fine. And then we have Justin, who's really good at rockets, so we will specialize him further in that regard, even though we are not developing any non-human grade rocket at this moment. Chase over here, I think also human grade rockets is a fine idea. We should, of course, still continue space probes. Yeah, I think some more space probes would be good. Come on. Any other specialization that we've decided on already? No. Trenton over here. You're just rubbish. Go away. You two guys are pretty good though. So... crewed spacecraft, not your strong suit. Either. Let's get one ready to conduct some research on spacesuits. And you'll be a space probe guy. That should be alright. Can't hire anyone now because we did hire someone in this year, so that's fine. We don't have any active program right now except for the rocket program. Some research is being done on that, so that's fine. Let's end the season. Research on this rocket, it's fine. Yeah, no particularly important news except one person having graduated. It's nice to see. You're good in space probes. Keep on developing that. Should be fine. Nothing else to do right now. So we are entering the last year of the season. Let's see about the news. Not much going on. Yeah, some astronauts being ready. It's good to see. And the SAT. Right, you're good at crewed aircraft, so we're going to tell you to continue developing that, and we are for the first time going to set a continuous development target over here. So I would like you to be at least a 90 in crewed target, and just keep on training until you are there. Astronauts, we could think about doing something similar over here, so you definitely need a lot more fitness. And we're gonna set a target at least of 60 for you. Likewise, you should have a piloting target of, let's say, 70. You seem to be pretty good overall. Gonna give you a little bit of fitness training. You should also be a better pilot. Let's get you up to 70. And yeah, you definitely need some piloting skills. Here we go, that's fine. Can we hire someone? Yeah, you're pretty good. Only one. And only 29 years old? You're 32, but you're really good and really cheap. You're pretty bad, a little bit better though. 93, 27. 31. How old were you? I like this guy, I have to say. On the other hand, you are better, and just 2 years younger. A lot cheaper. But at this point, staff costs really start to be a little bit less important. So we should, I think, really look out to get the best potential pilots. You know what? It's Lawrence. Let's hire you. That's fine. Right, and 2 flight controllers who could be trained. Yeah, you're definitely a trajectory person, so single course I think is fine. What about Federitos over here? Did we want to maybe train you up as a flight director? Don't seem to remember. You wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's set you up in propulsion, I guess. And that's fine. So last year of this flight season, so I think things will start to accelerate a little bit. We should hire 3 or so people over here. 97, that's really good. 94, that's good. 93, your potential. All of you alright? Yeah, a little bit old on average, a little bit expensive, but all in all, I'm happy about having high potential people. Good. Very little money right now, but that will change by the end of the next season, or by the end of the flight season. Here we go. Russians have achieved a couple of goals by launching Sputnik, so Sputnik has been launched on a regular mission. That's alright, we did beat them to that target, so that's good to see. Couple of other things, people are training, that's good to see. We will start to accelerate looking at that a little bit. Mauricio over here, you're pretty good by now. Let's get your piloting skills up. Let's keep on training these guys. Flight controllers, so we'd simply look at the best number. Propulsion, yeah, single course should be alright. Spacecraft systems, yeah, so we are starting to see good development over here, which I appreciate. Same on the SAT, hopefully. Do we have people who are good at human-rated rockets? We do, in fact. Yeah, two people I think is fine. Let's keep on training you. Let's get over to our program. Replace these people who are sort of middle of the ground with these top-notch people right now. Yeah, just give us a little bit more capability there. So that's very lovely to see. Does mean we can train up 6 more people on things that they are potentially good at. Like rockets. Yeah, pretty well rounded actually. Do we have enough crewed spacecraft people? So, let's see. Rockets. We have 2 people who are decently good at that. You are in advanced... no, you're in basic training. You are gonna be EVA suits. Space probes. You're a little bit undecided now, aren't you? Oh no, you are in basic training. You probably go for human-rated rockets. So, you know what, let's do crewed spacecraft over here. You are training already. And you definitely are spacecraft person. Space probe person. It does leave you. Yeah, not too bad at either of these 2 things. I think... let's go for human-rated rockets. Right, so 3 more seasons till we are in the next one. So we could think about increasing this thing. It would only require 1 season to do so, but then we could hire a couple of people, and that wouldn't be too bad. Have we in fact hired people now? Can we hire someone? Yes, we could. And some of these are not too bad, so yeah, I think that's a good idea. So we're not making that much money, but I do think having more flight controllers is important. We're probably going to lose some money then. It's going to cost $1 million now. We make some losses, but I think we can swallow that until the end of the season, so that's probably alright. Let's end the season. More research coming in, that's nice to see. Yes, yes, yes. Nothing too surprising over here. Yeah, we are losing money now, but again, just 2 seasons until we are going to be ready, so that's fine. Need to do some more training though. So all of these people I think have finished basic training. Let's do one more human rocket. Space probes. Let's tell you to be crewed spacecraft. And you... I'm wondering how many space probes guys do we have? So space probes, yeah, just the other way please. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you are training that. You're probably gonna be away researching rockets a lot. Crewed spacecraft. So yeah, it's fine. Let's do space probes with you. That should be alright. No one else to train. So let's end the season. Yeah, that's good to see. Nothing very surprising. Good, good, good. Now, the one thing that does concern me is that we know that the Soviets opened the Vostok program. So they are actively working on putting someone into space. Nevertheless, I think we are in a very good position. So let's make sure that we are doing the last things for this flight season, which is training up our astronauts. You're right, leadership is good for you. Leadership it is, and yeah, likewise leadership. Just make sure our astronauts are top notch, and our flight controllers likewise. You, we wanted to be a flight director, so you need to be working on your least capable thing, and you are trajectory, so work on the best thing that you can. That should be fine. So here we go. Let's end the season. Piloting, yeah, all of that is alright. Oh, significant technical discovery will boost the results of R&D for the next 5 seasons, so nearly a year. That's very good to know, and that means we should pull out a couple of people from training probably and put them to research. Speaking of research, here we go. The new budget for the next 4 years is 8 million per turn, so you can see us turning quite a nice profit now, which is excellent to see. And that should allow us to hire a couple of people and go about that. I should have actually hired a couple of people in mission control last time. Didn't think of that. My mistake. That being said, I think next time will be a very good time to look at the second window tool from 1959 to 1963. See a little bit about what missions we want to aim for, how we want to get our public understanding up. We can see that right now, last time our target was to get to 2,500. Now our target is to get to 12,000. We can't fail this season, but of course potentially next season would be different. But this season our target is to get 2,000 prestige. We do have 4,000. Well, I guess we could fail if we were to lose a couple of launches. But that would be really, really bad. So, still, quarterly balance looks very good, so we have some financial wiggle room and can think about where we want to expand. So, that being said, I think this is a very good place to put in a cut. So, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Bye bye.